What is going on, beautiful soul on the other side of the screen? In today's video, I'm going to be discussing the importance of how your personality creates your personal reality. First, I want to show you guys this bug that's in my room, or not in my room, in my window. I don't know if you can see that really well, but it's like this little wasp, and it has blue wings, and it's real disgusting, real gross. However, going back to the matter at hand, I think that this is a really essential topic because I'm obsessed with the niche of self-help, self-development, and improving yourself, being 1% better every single day that you can. And I think of every single thing that I've absorbed, whether that be podcasts, listening to podcasts, reading books, or watching YouTube videos. Basically, all of them are trying to hit home this main point of how you can change your reality and make it more positive, make it a better experience for yourself if you can change your thoughts. Because the 3D reality, what you are experiencing now, is a mirror, is a reflection of your brain and of your mindset. So if you can change that, your outcome in your external reality is going to change. So let me break this down. First of all, I think your personality is comprised of 3 key elements. That being said, first of all, and most important, is your thoughts, are your thoughts. Second of all, are your emotions. And so your thoughts create your emotions, and your emotions create your actions. And your actions is how you show up in your environment, in your 3D reality, thus forming your personality. Booyah. And every single day, each person has around, I think it's 60,000 to 80,000 thoughts every single day, which is un montón. It's so many thoughts. So basically, if you want to change how you are showing up in your world, how you are showing up in your reality, you have to first and most importantly change your outlook, change your thoughts. So for example, if you are a person who is usually more positive and thinking more positive thoughts, out of these 80,000 thoughts, let's say majority of them, let's say 90% are positive, you're going to then feel more positive every single day because your emotions are then aligned with your thoughts, and your thoughts release neurotransmitters that your body picks up on. And if you feel more positive, you're going to act more positive because you're going to act as how you are feeling, and you're going to feel how you are thinking. So a person who is more positive, for example, are going to have these feelings of, okay, well, I have more confidence, a higher self-esteem, higher self-worth. That being said, I'm going to show up in my reality as though someone who is aligned with these thoughts. So I'm going to go out more, be more social, be more extroverted, and I'm going to accomplish my goals because that is the person who I'm going to be that is aligned with my thoughts. However, vice versa, if you take someone, for example, who is usually more negative in their day-to-day life, and for example, thinks, oh, well, I just don't have much confidence, and I have a low self-worth, low self-esteem, and I feel like people are going to judge me and criticize me depending on what I do, you are going to feel that way in your body, so you're going to act that way. Therefore, your personality is going to be aligned and more connected with someone who believes those thoughts. That being said, I think the number one best way to counteract this, if you want to show up in your life as someone different than you were in the past, is to know that you are just the observer of your thoughts, and you do not have to identify with any thoughts that you don't want to. And just because you acted like someone yesterday, like let's say, you know, for majority of your life you acted like someone who was insecure, not really self-confident, and you were just shy. Not saying that being shy is something bad, but let's say you want to change that element about yourself to be more outgoing, to be more social. Just because you acted like that in the past does not mean you have to act like that in the present moment or in the future as well. And I think if you can recognize and observe your thoughts you're having but not identify with them, that is the number one thing you can do. It's the number one thing you can do. And let's say instead of having these negative thoughts that trigger this chain reaction, you could then observe these thoughts of, oh, well, I am in this moment thinking, you know, I am not confident and I don't want to do this and I'm just too shy and I'm too scared and I'm too anxious. Instead of thinking all those things, you can observe that you're having those thoughts, recognize that, and then switch the internal dialogue that you're giving yourself. So you can then switch it to be like, okay, I am feeling like, well, I'm observing that I'm having these thoughts. That being said, I'm going to trigger a different chain reaction, a different thought chain, and I'm now going to think more positive thoughts. Instead of feeling, well, I'm feeling not worthy, you can observe that, recognize that, get that away from your mind and think, okay, in this moment in time, I'm going to think, I am someone, in this present moment now, I am someone who thinks differently, and I am someone with more confidence, and I am someone who is outgoing, and I am someone who accomplishes my goals. You're going to immediately, you have to feel that, embody those emotions, and then that will trigger the actions, and then you will show up in your life as somewhat differently than you were in the past. Also, I think regarding these negative ideas and negative thoughts that you have in your mind, you have to ask yourself okay, part 2 of this video, because I ran out of storage on my phone. So hopefully I can record the rest of this video without problems, sin problemas, because that I felt like I was in a groove in part 1. So anyways, to continue this video where I left off, basically I want to talk about negative emotions and where they come from. So one, you have to ask yourself, if you are someone who thinks more negatively, you have to ask yourself, where are these negative thoughts coming from? Were they instilled in you, and were they instilled from a young age, from your parents, from your relatives, from your friends that just gave you this unsolicited advice that you didn't even ask for, and now you think that you can't do something because of what they think, not because of what you think, but because your brain has subconscious and a conscious mind. If you think something from a young age, it almost gets trapped in your brain as a belief in your subconscious mind. So you really have to ask yourself and break down why you think the way you do. And if it's something recent, and let's say you're talking to this group of friends, but they just give you this unsolicited advice of what they think you can and cannot do, those are not your friends, dog. Those are not your friends, my brother. They are bringing you down. Friends should do nothing except bring you up and uplift you and motivate you and inspire you. And if they're not doing that, get rid of them. They are not for you. They're your enemies, dude. Get rid of them. So really ask yourself, where and why do I think the way I do? Especially if you're in this negative feedback, negative loop of thinking that you're not worthy, because you are so worthy. You are worthy by doing and by being yourself. Nothing. You don't have to do anything else to prove to anyone that you're worthy enough. You don't have to do anything, say anything, feel any certain way. You are inherently worthy by just being you. Know that, embody that, and if you really want to change your outlook on life and you really want to feel like you are a more positive person, it all stems from your thoughts that you are enough, you are worthy, you are fulfilled just by being yourself. And you don't need to do anything. You don't need anyone else. You don't need you don't need a partner, you don't need friends, you don't need family to make you feel a certain way, because you are full. Obviously you need them for support. Obviously I'm not saying isolate yourself, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you are a full person, individual by yourself without needing validation from anyone else. I should have started with that instead of but you are worthy, you are valuable, you are enough. So hopefully I covered everything that you were looking for out of this video, and I'm sorry there was that random cut in the middle. Literally I ran out of storage, so I have a problem with storing tons of videos and tons of photos on my phone. I'm a photo hoarder for sure. But anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. I love you guys. Thank you so much for your support, and comment below any ideas or videos you want me to film next. So thank you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.